This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Real quick, what does it mean to hearken? Huh? Like, what does it mean to hearken? I can't hear you, brother. You still thinking about it? It means to listen, right? It's an old Quaker word. It's an old fancy word for listen. He's like, if you will not hearken, if you will not listen to what I'm telling you, read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
So listen, the commandments is the topic of the conversation. If you don't listen to hearken and to observe God's commandments, read.
And all his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Real quick, Zach. Are curses a good thing or a bad thing? Curses are a bad thing. Curses are a very bad thing. All right? So, he said, if you don't listen, if you don't observe God's commandments, I'm going to put curses on you. In other words, judgments. For each crime you commit, I'm going to judge you for it, because that's ultimately what? Sin. Crime, sin is synonymous in the Bible. All right? Read verse 16.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Real quick, Zach. Let me ask you something. Everywhere in America, where are you going to find black people at? Everywhere, yeah. But I mean, like, are we living in the good conditions or the bad conditions?
We're all white.
You said what?
The okay condition.
The okay condition? Nah, not so much. Who fills the ghettos? I'm gonna ask you that. Who fills the ghettos? Black people. Who fills the suburbs? Huh? Pretty much the white people, right? Listen to this again. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
He said, cursed shall you be in the city. Meaning everywhere you go in all of America, you're going to be cursed in your living conditions. That's why we're in the ghettos, the slums, the hood, the projects. Every time you bring them words up, who comes to mind? It's our people. Now, when you think about the suburbs, or you think of like the nice neighborhoods, no, you think about Mr. Spacey. You think about your boss. You think about the so-called white man. Our people not feeling suburbs like that. Who live in Carmel and Fishers like that? I'm talking black folks. You go there now, you're going to find what? White folks, Arabs, and East Indians. Those are the ones who live in those areas where it's really nice, no trash on the ground, no potholes in the street, no drug dealing at the gas stations. Their gas stations are clean. You know what I'm saying? They don't live in horrid conditions like we do. He said, cursed shall you be in the city. Read.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field. Let me ask you something. So you're 17. Do they teach slavery in high school? They do? Okay, so let me ask you something. Who's in the cotton fields? Black people. Who were in the sugarcane fields? Who were in the tobacco fields? You starting to see a pattern here? Read that again.
Break it out.
And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
He said, cursed shall you be in the field. We were cursed in the slave field. Okay? We were the ones getting our backs whipped in for not picking a certain amount. You ever seen 12 Years a Slave? You seen that? Yeah, not okay. What about Roots? You ever seen Roots? Yeah, you're 17, so it's kind of hard right now. I'm like, y'all young cats don't be watching. Y'all gotta watch these movies, man. You gotta watch these movies. Why? Because that's our history being brought to life right before our eyes. That's biblical prophecy and Bible history being brought to life for our very eyes. You read the Bible and then you look at that and you be like, damn, that really did happen. That was us right there. So, what did you learn in high school when it came to slavery? What did you learn? What'd you learn, brother? It's all right. Typical event, like regarding our slavery, like just give me a brief rundown, a bullet point. So you learned about us being in cotton fields, right? What else? What else did you learn? Let's hone in on slavery, because I want to show you, I want you to understand that slavery is in the Bible, and the Bible is our history book. So I'm really trying to hone in on that. So real quick, we touched on what? Working in the slave fields, right? Were we bought and sold? We were bought and sold. Do you think there's a verse in there talking about that? You don't think so? Give me verse 32.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people,
He said, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. You see that right there? What is this? What is this right here? That's the perfect word. That's the word right there. Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
He said, your sons and your daughters shall be given unto another people. That's why I keep bringing up movie references, but people still ain't seen them, but it's all right. We were bought and we were sold. Our families were broken apart because of white man's greed and because we broke God's commandments. That's the main thing right there. God put curses on us. That's one of the curses. Being bought and sold by your enemy.
Right.
Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
And our eyes looked and failed with longing for them all the day long. What does that mean? The women cried and cried and cried because we couldn't get our children back. Look at it. Does she look happy to you? That her daughter about to get sold off? That she's about to be separated from her child? That's what happened to us in history. Right. That's what happened. That's our history. But we're reading the Bible. Right. How do them two match up? Because the Bible is a real book. Right. The Bible is a real book. This is our history reading right here. Read it from the top.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
Our sisters cried and cried and cried. The fathers cried and cried and cried when they seen their daughter being carried off, when they seen their sons being carried off. Why? Because we were never going to see them again. It's going to say that. Keep reading.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Is that it? And there shall be no might in their hand. What's that mean? You ain't got no physical might. You ain't got no military might. You ain't got no economic might. You ain't got no political might. You literally, there's nothing you can do about it. You had no power. We had no power to get our kids back. Once bro was gone, he was gone. Never seen again. All right. What else we got? Give me
Make it clear.
Give me that one. Yeah. Read that.
And thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
You know what betroth means? Betroth means like you engaged, right? So you shall betroth the wife, marry a wife, right? And another man is going to lie with her. Now, what history is that? Wasn't our grandmothers raped in history? In slavery? By the slave master? By the overseer? By the slave catcher? Didn't that happen? That's our history. Read it again.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
He said another man shall, meaning he's going to. This is happening. It's in his mind. This is happening. He's like, he shall lie with her. So our grandmothers got raped. In another part of history they don't teach us, our grandfathers were raped too. It was called buck breaking. That's what they did. They raped the women and they raped the men. They raped the children too. All right? Read on.
And thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
And thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Meaning what? We built houses all over the United States during the times of slavery. Did we live in those houses or did we live in huts? We lived in huts. We lived in horrid conditions. But meanwhile, the white man living in nice, comfy mansions and all that. You ever see them historical houses? They like, we called it the big house back in the day. The big house always had pillars in front of that house. They were called plantation houses. All right? Come on.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard and shall not gather the grapes thereof.
And we were always in the vineyard. Didn't he say earlier, you shall be in, cursed shalt thou be in the field? We was in the vineyards too. We were in the orchards too. We were in the vineyards gleaning grapes. We did all that to serve the white man because we broke God's laws. Remember, the point I want you to remember and not forget is that God put curses on us for our disobedience.
Right. What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is